Full hard cash here, don't you?
Get out.
I don't even take it.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to call the regular City of Prescott Council meeting to order. It's Monday, February 26th at 6 o'clock. I'll do a roll call. Bailey?
Here.
Maureen?
Here.
Pat is excused. Dar?
Here.
John? Here. Lindsay?
Here.
Okay, would everybody please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Council will receive public comments on any issue related to the agenda. Limited discussion by the council may take place. Okay, hearing none. Next item is consent agenda. The library board minutes from January 18th, city council meeting minutes from February 12th, Parks and Public Works from February 19th, 2003 library annual report snapshot, addendum to basic agreement between the city of Prescott and Per-Mar Security Service for upgrade to fire alarm at the Great River Road building, and approval of change of officer for Quick Trip liquor license Class A combination and tobacco license.
Motion to approve the 6 items in the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion, a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Next item is reports of standing committees and commissions. Finance Committee, next meeting is Wednesday, March 20th at 5:30. Planning Commission, next meeting Monday, March 4th at 6 o'clock. Parks and Public Works, I have a committee report, Bailey.
Sure. So during the Public Works meeting, we discussed the Cherry Street scope and removing a sidewalk and basically extending the other sidewalk out. We discussed the 2024 Kinnickinnick street scope and having it be bid as an alternate for the Elm and Washington Street project. Compost site, we are looking at the QR code, and so more stuff to come on that. We did discuss the financial and maintenance agreements with the DOT. We did recommend that we basically move forward with the proposed contract. It's probably the best thing to do for the community. Unfortunately, it's not really ideal in terms of the financial contract itself, but we're working through that. The receptacles over where we have the recycling, so we will be trying to move those. That is on the agenda for this evening. The Riverfront Project Phase 2, we are looking at multiple grant opportunities. Freedom Park has requested a shed, and we're just waiting on additional details from them. And then McGee Park, we are moving forward with that project as well for this year, and we did receive the Knowles Nelson grant. So we're just waiting on the flood zone study to be completed by Cedar Corp.
Okay, thank you. The next meeting for Parks and Public Works is Monday, March 18th at 5 o'clock. Health and Safety, next meeting March 11th at 5 o'clock. And Personnel, next meeting Wednesday, May 1st at 5 o'clock. So next item on the agenda is public comments. The City Council will receive public comments on any issue not related to the agenda items. Limited discussion by the council may take place. However, no action will be taken on any items, includes receiving written requests or documentation and possible action at a future meeting. Okay, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 09-24, approving plans and specifications and authorizing ad for bid for 2024 water treatment project at Well 3. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So this has been a project that we've been working on now for quite some time. Just to give some background, So back on Friday, September 21st, 2021, we received a test result for well 3 for nitrate levels that totaled 12.1 milligrams per liter after a confirmation test that exceeded 10 milligrams per liter, which is the MCL for nitrates. We were required per the state to have that well shut off, and well number 3 has been turned off since that time. We were required to do a feasibility report, which we ended up hiring CBS Squared to do. We looked at numerous options. First, a new well in a new location, a new well at the same site, drilling the current well deeper, a reverse osmosis treatment, electrodialysis, reversal treatment, or connecting to an adjacent water utility. At our April 25th, 2022 meeting, council did move forward with recommending a reverse osmosis treatment at well 3 with CBS Square handling service of the facility. Furthermore, then we move forward with applying for financial assistance through the Safe Drinking Water Loan Program, which provides financial assistance. This was approved and submitted back in 2022. And additionally, then in May of 22, we did tests for PFAS and found trace levels between 3 to 8 parts per trillion in each of our wells. This is currently below the Wisconsin Safe Drinking Water standards of 70 parts per trillion. However, the EPA has developed new proposed national standards set at 4 parts per trillion for PFAS, and it is believed that eventually that these standards will be implemented through Wisconsin and through the EPA. So in looking at both of those items, back on June 26, 2023, the city and council reviewed 5 different design and layout options for the proposed treatment well 3. We ultimately passed Resolution 37-23 approving alternate number 3 design for submittal to the Wisconsin DNR Emerging Contaminant Program. That layout was reverse osmosis treatment with 1 concentrate GAC building to be oversized. This option would then see RO concentrate treated by the concentrate GAC, removing the PFAS and then sending the water back to the aquifer or to the storm sewer. And then on October 2nd, 2023, the city received full approval from the Wisconsin DNR to move forward with this treatment option. We do have one change that we'll be discussing tonight, but to go over the design and the building, I'll turn it over to John Strand, who's with us tonight from CBS
Just real
Square.
quick question before he starts. So when we're talking about the water, we're either gonna send it to the aquifer or, because I don't remember that being,
So we made the decision to ultimately, I believe, send it to the water treatment plant after it's been treated through GAC treatment, which is the one change. It's not actually going to be GAC treatment. It's going to be ani exchange removal.
yeah, that can, yeah, if we can go through that.
I'll turn over. Does that answer your question, Bailey? Sorry.
No, but we'll let him, we can start going through it.
Well, thank you, and
We need you to come up to the podium
certainly,
so everybody can hear you at home. Tell us who you are and why you're here, please.
John Strand, I'm the project manager for CBS Squared for the well number 3 water treatment plant project. And I'm here tonight to briefly go over the plans and specifications and to then answer any questions that the council has and prior to your consideration to put this out for bid. The plans and specs, as Matt mentioned, were submitted to DNR, and they have actually reviewed and approved those plans and specifications. As we have been finalizing the design, there have been one major change, and that is to go with the anion exchange resin process instead of the granular activated carbon process, or GAC. The reason for that comes down to cost, is that the anion exchange resin will last longer, and it will also provide actually a better treatment for the types of PFAS molecules that are in the drinking water. And so that's another advantage of using it. And so in talking with DNR, we brought that change to DNR, and they gave their verbal approval to go along with the anion exchange process. And
What's the price difference between them?
I'm sorry,
The
question?
price difference between them?
I don't have the exact price difference right now, but it was in the order of, I would say, around $50,000 less. The importance of the DNR approval and ion exchange was that they did not require another pilot test because anion exchange and GAC primarily do the same thing with water. So the addition, you have the complete plans and specifications, I believe, and I will not go through every page, but would like to answer any questions. I'll generally describe the building. It'll be a around 1,300 square foot building addition to well number 3. So in the diagrams, you will see that, the existing building will be much smaller, around 600 some square feet of compared to the new addition. And within that new addition, it will primarily house the reverse osmosis equipment and then this anion exchange equipment. Along with that, there will be a break tank, which essentially is a large water reservoir and then a booster pump. The reason for the break tank is that the reverse osmosis system operates at a certain pressure, and it requires that the back pressure be around 60 psi. And the booster tank allows you then the water to be collected, so it's a brief storage area, but then a booster pump boosts the pressure up to your working pressure at that area of town of 90 psi. The building will be masonry on the inside with a siding, like a cement-based board siding on the outside, and the existing well house will also be sided. There will be a gable roof added to both building portions, and you have some diagrams complete with colors that were selected for the new building addition.
Talk to me about the difference between GAC and then this one more time, please.
So the anion exchange resin is a proprietary resin that is basically, it's a one-time usage and then it does have to be replaced. But it lasts a lot longer than GAC does because GAC is essentially the same thing, granule activated carbon. It has a one-time usage and then it has to be replaced with, in this case would be brand new GAC or anion exchange with brand new resin.
Who's proprietary on it? Like who developed it?
The anion resin is a product that's provided by Water Surplus, as well as they're providing the reverse osmosis equipment.
How widely is it used right now compared to GAC for treating PFAS?
Well, it's interesting that GAC has been traditionally the more used for PFAS, but as of late, more and more plants are now going with the anion exchange because of the one thing is that it's able to absorb more of the short chain PFAS molecules, where GAC is better suited for absorbing the long chain PFAS. Now, both do either, but if you look at the preferential method of removal, the anion exchange has an edge on that.
So what's the disposal of the resin after it meets its life? Is there
There's a procedure for that, and so it goes to a hazardous waste landfill. And the GAC would be of similar nature. There is an alternate method for GAC where it would be regenerated, but it would not go back into water treatment again. It would be used for some other industrial purpose.
Do they both take out the same number of, will they meet the new state requirement when that's implemented?
There's not even a way to measure the new requirement. There's not even a way to effectively measure the new requirement that the EPA is trying to do. There's 3 places that I know of personally that can do it. So I don't know what they're thinking, but that's a whole nother topic.
Oh.
Sure, but largely the both take out the PFAS. The GAC requires a little bit more room, volume-wise, to do the same thing than the anion exchange resin.
Okay.
so are we going to have training from our public works people to operate the reverse osmosis and all that?
In the contracts, when we get to the point of startup, there is training on all the pieces of equipment, which includes the reverse osmosis, the anti-exchange, the different chemical feed systems that provide the anti-scalant chemical for the RO system, and then as well as any pumps and valves and piping within the building. So we've already talked about how that process would work, and that with the suggestion that the city would want to videotape those training sessions so that as you have new staff come on board at different times, you'd have that digital video that you can show the staff then.
When did this change occur when we decided to go from GAC to this?
It's been the last few months.
Yeah, I think once we saw that the process for treating wasn't any difference and we were gonna be saving, the startup cost is about 75,000 in savings, and then the annual operations cost is about 24,000 in savings. So once we saw those numbers and the fact that we weren't gonna have any difference in treatment, that's when the thought was to move forward and talk with the DNR and bring that proposed change forward.
And how long has this been used? This new method?
Anti-exchange, it's been used for a few decades.
Okay, for this specific type of treatment?
No,
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm
PFAS
asking.
is brand new. So
Yep.
it's been used
Well,
for other
yes and no, but yeah.
contaminants in drinking water. Similar to GAC. GAC's been around much longer than this anti-exchange. Both have been well-suited for PFAS.
The majority of the studies have been around GAC, I believe, if that's correct or not.
Yes and no. There's been more pilot testing data now coming out with anion exchange also.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. So I'll entertain a motion for resolution 0924.
Motion,
I'm a little apprehensive because I haven't had a chance to look into this quite yet, but
well,
if that's our only option, it's because it's lower cost, I just don't know much about it.
do you feel the need to do your own research on it?
If there's no other option from a cost perspective and this is it, I just have not looked into a whole lot and I know what other places are doing. And it's mainly GAC, so this is new that I'm hearing, so that's all I'm saying.
Motion to approve Resolution 09-24 for the plans and specifications for the water treatment project at well number 3.
I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to approve resolution 0924. Is there any discussion on the motion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is a lease agreement between the City of Prescott and BNSF Railway for a cubicle within the Prescott Police Department. What's it take that?
I could take that one. So in the beginning of January 2024, BNSF Railroad reached out to the city about leasing a potential cubicle for their resource protection officer. They made contact with Chief Michaels. They reviewed and discussed potential items that they would like to see within the lease. Essentially, and Eric can jump in if I'm stating anything incorrectly, but essentially they worked out that as long as with their items that they were requesting, as long as they were fine with, they would not be able to control basically in the evidence room, but they would have 2 shelf rooms. We moved forward with working out a lease agreement for a 39 square foot cubicle that would give access to the common area and also key card access. This would start on March 1st, 2024, and end on February 28th, 2025. However, it would have 2-year option, or 2 additional year options for extension by BNSF. And the lease amount for this year would be $780 per month, or $9,360 per year. And then would have a 3% escalator after that. We did review this with our city attorney. The items that he had concerns over were addressed and incorporated into the agreement. So I'll turn it over for council for comments or questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the City of Prescott lease agreement with Burlington Northern Southern Freight. Is there any discussion on the motion? Go
Mayor,
ahead.
I have a question. More for curiosity than anything else. Where were their offices before this? Or
Next
is
to
this new to
Carboni's.
Prescott?
Next to Carboni's.
So there's a building
Oh.
next to Carboni's
Oh,
that's, I don't know who owns it, but there used to be a barber shop kind of in the front of it. Or no, it was kind of in the back and they were over there, right in between Carboni's and the motel.
oh, okay. And what kind of weapons do they have? Are they police?
Yeah,
Or
they have the
are
same thing we
police?
do, yeah.
So,
But that, we have no interaction or interchangeability with weapons. Their stuff is their stuff, ours is ours. There won't be any kind of intermingling of anything other than space. We won't have access to their stuff, they won't have access to ours, such as like the weapons and their, that kind of thing. They'll have their own lockers that they'll keep that stuff
yeah.
in.
Are they here every day?
No.
Oh. How
No.
often do they use an office space? I'm just really curious.
So they used to be here quite a bit, and if you drove by Holiday, well, it was the old Holiday, you'd see what, the black SUVs that look like the FBI,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's all their vehicles. So
Okay.
they used to be here quite a bit, but now they're doing a lot of remote stuff from home. So he comes in when he has to do field work in St. Paul, because he runs from St. Paul down to La Crosse, I think. They have 2 or 3 different agents that run this area.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of a 10-year service agreement between KLM Engineering and the City of Prescott for water tower tank inspection services. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So the city, we contract with KLM Engineering to review and inspect our water towers. Our current agreement runs through 2028. However, it does not include an annual sanitary survey. What this is it is required by the DNR to inspect all areas of egress and ingress for leaks and holes to ensure no contaminants enter the water towers. Previously, the city was having a local individual or company access the tower, but that is no longer an option. So as a result, we listed below, we asked for KLM to update the agreement to include this services to be done each year through 2034. The funding for this work would come out of our annual operations budget from the water fund on an annual basis. And you could see then within the memo, options for both of our water towers are included is about $1,250 per tower, or $1,250 per tower to do this annual inspection on our towers. So with that, I'll turn it over to council for comments and questions.
I just have one question, Matt. Someplace in here I read that they would do an inspection based on ground level, no rigging. How are they gonna, is that unusual? How often would you need rigging?
Guess I'm not familiar with that. Do you know where you would?
Oh, gosh, I was just trying to find it again.
Do we have a vertical lifeline on our water towers?
I'm sorry, what was
A
that?
vertical lifeline on our water towers for climbing?
I apologize, I don't know.
Let's add that to the agenda for Public Works.
Vertical,
lifeline, because then we can get them to maybe climb to inspect up top.
That's what I was wondering. Where is it?
I guess under exterior and interior inspections, KLM will provide a NACE coating inspector that is properly trained and qualified to perform this type of evaluation. This exterior will be inspected from all areas accessible without rigging,
Yeah,
unless
that's what it
otherwise
was.
written into this agreement.
Yeah.
So I guess I would have to ask KLM more questions specifically. That's under the exterior and interior inspection, which is done.
Well, I mean, it's so far up there, I just thought, how would they really inspect the exterior?
It
if
sounds
they
like they're
couldn't-
using drones to do it.
Oh, I didn't think about drones.
Yeah, and they brought in a big crane. They did.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
Okay, all
When they,
right.
when they painted it, when it was
Well,
painted
yeah.
and all that, it was,
Yeah.
and, they had to get up there and actually, because we had to repair one of the manways and some of the
Mm-hmm.
railing and stuff, so they would have had to have that. That's OSHA requirements, they would have had to been tied off
Mm-hmm.
if they got out of their basket.
So it does say in the next sentence as well that they'll be examined using ultrasonic thickness readings, dry film thickness, and standard ASTM tests.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to approve 10-year service agreement between KLM Engineering and the City of Prescott for water tower tank inspection services. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of moving the Pierce County recycling receptacles to Ryden Road.
Thank you, Mayor. So the city, we're currently addressing the relocation of 3 large roll-off enclosed recycling receptacles, which are currently at McGee Park. These receptacles are owned and managed by Pierce County Department of Solid Waste and Recycling. They have been a source of some problems, unfortunately, with illegal dumping and littering at the current location. Again, as we're looking at, was mentioned earlier, McGee Park improvements, we're looking to move these dumpsters or these recycling bins. During the March 16th Parks Committee meeting, the site selection process resulted in the upper terrace of the Public Works site being the suitable location. However, during preliminary grading by Public Works to prepare the site, residents near the site expressed strong opposition to the decision, so we relooked at the site plans, and at our last Parks and Public Works Committee meeting, the committee addressed those concerns and resulted in favor in moving forward with concept plan number 2, which is in your packet, which would be the site off at the end of Ryden Road. Ryden Road currently is situated between Foley and SV Labs. It was one of the 3 options, and there at the end of Ryden Road, it dead ends. So that would be the preferred option that Parks and Public Works Committee recommended moving forward with. So with that, I'll turn it over to council for comments and questions.
Motion to approve the moving of the recycling receptacles to Ryden Road.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion, a second to approve the moving the Pierce County recycling receptacles to Ryden Road. Is there any discussion on the motion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion carried. Any other business? There's no other business. Need a motion to go into closed session per Wisconsin statute 19.85, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body that is rendering oral written advice concerning strategy which will be adopted by the body with respect to litigation which it is or is likely to become involved, to wit, discussion, consideration of enforcement, and other options with respect to trespassing on property owned by the city by Leo's Landing and interference with the city's riparian rights.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
A motion, a second to go into closed session. Bailey?
Aye.
Maureen?
Aye.
Dar?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Lindsay?
Aye.
Okay. Guess we'll have to go.